What's up, guys? Jamie Grace here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Happy 2020. It's been a fun year so far. I'm going to do a Q&A with you guys. I've done Q&As on my channel before. I can't actually remember the last time I did one where it was just me sitting down, but my sweet daughter, Isabella, she stayed at my parents' house last night, so she's still hanging with them. And my husband's getting a haircut right now. And I was just like, it's crazy because sometimes when I have time to myself, I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna watch TV or something. But honestly, my favorite thing to do is create. And so I came up here to my studio, which I just moved in to exactly a week ago today. And I don't have my desk yet. This is all the stuff that goes on the wall. It's not on the wall yet. So it's not at all like ready. It doesn't, yeah. But I was just like, I just want to come up here. It's just like the sun's so bright outside and it's just the natural light is so great. And I just wanted to, I don't know, it's exciting to want to be in a physical space where I can go create, because as you guys know, with my life story that I am very, transparent about and stuff, anxiety and depression are very real. And so for me to crave to be in a bright room, to pull my camera out and talk to you guys, to me, that's like a big step. I did not intend to get all like deep and personal so fast. I literally, I made another video like 20 minutes ago, and then I hopped on Instagram and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna do a Q&A. So that's what this is supposed to be, but I didn't intend to be all deep. But I did say on Instagram that it was gonna be unedited and unfiltered. So guess that's staying. Yeah, also my sister just texted me and said, we can pick up the desk tomorrow. So my sister is getting my old desk, and they need to pick that up tomorrow because I couldn't bring my old desk up here because it's a spiral staircase and nothing will go up a spiral staircase unless it's in a box. I'm telling y'all way too much information. We need to just do the Q&A. So, okay, it's such random info. I'm like, and then when I was 7, I lost a tooth. So we're gonna do a Q&A. I'm gonna just answer these questions from the gram. I think I have some on Facebook and stuff too. We're gonna just look around in all the socials and keep checking, and who knows how long this video will be. So let's jump right into it. When did I learn to play guitar? I've got my first guitar when I was 7. I broke it when I was 7.5. I started playing when I was about 14 or 15 years old. My sister actually helped me out a lot. What do you feel your ministry is now that you are married? I guess ministry, calling, my purpose, those kind of words always kind of flow together. I don't feel like that has changed much. I mean, not to, sound like a preacher's kid, but to sound like a preacher's kid, I mean, I believe, as followers of Christ, like we're called to love God, love people, to, go out and make disciples, that kind of thing. And so, that exact thing, not that kind of thing. So I don't think that has necessarily changed. Now that I'm married, I think the way that I do things has obviously changed. But yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily changed. I mean, I still wake up every day, like with the desire to serve and to love and to give. And I know it's in one of my songs, but it's because I believe it and it's because it's how I live. And so I have the desire to serve my family and to, to create music that inspires and to, so I don't know if it's so much changed. I just think the dynamic of things sometimes changes. Bob or Larry, presuming that's a VeggieTales reference. Always Larry the cucumber because he's kind of a goofball, but then also Bob the tomato because I feel like sometimes he's like, settle down, children. Bob and Larry remind me of my sister a lot. Like my sister and I, so my sister would be Bob and I'd be Larry. Yeah. Let's see. When will we see more of your character sketches? I hope soon. Not to get totally into it, but there have been a lot of changes with the YouTube stuff, with things being made for kids and when characters are involved and stuff like that. And so a lot of YouTubers have had a hard time with creating content or with when to post or what to post or if to post. So my characters, they're still here. They're still, very much alive, a part of what I do. There's a box in this closet full of Grandma Yolanda wigs and Brody sweatshirt and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly when that'll come back, but usually the Jamie Gray show is every summer, except this past summer, not because I was birthing a child. But sorry, I didn't mean to get so crazy. But yeah, so I don't know when, but it'll happen this year. There you go. There's my answer. How long does it take to make your hair look that cool? Thank you so much. My hair was done by Shantara of the Brady Bar, flew to LA to do my hair for me, which she's great. It took her thing is in and out in 4 hours. I think ours took a little longer because we were too busy becoming friends. And also she did it in my house, and I'm a mom, and so I had to like stop and be a mom, which no diss on anybody, but I'd stop anything to go be a mom. I love that child. Let's see, favorite Marvel movie. Oh, I like them all. I know that's so cheesy to say. Maybe the last Avengers. I like Marvel a lot. I don't know what my favorite one is off the top. I think I know what my favorite is, but just not off the top of my head. My brother-in-law will be very disappointed in me right now. Oh, well, is Spider-Man Marvel? See, this is why I'm not going to answer that, because people are going to get mad at me. Do you still have your unicorn onesie? Yeah, I have a ton of onesies. I actually slept in an owl onesie last night because it was really cold and I was going to turn on the heat, and I was like, no, I'm going to be responsible and sleep in a onesie instead. My ISO is so bright. Like, it's like, okay, that is more like my skin tone. Okay, soft or hard tacos. I like soft tacos, but if they have like really cool flavor, if it's like a Chipotle taco from Taco Bell, then I want the hard shell because it's like don't get me started. If I could eat anything in the world right now, what would I eat? That's hard to think because I'm really not hungry. I just had a granola bar. Not that a granola bar is like, I'm so full, but I'm just really happy. Like I'm very satisfied right now. And I'm also drinking an energy drink. So I feel like I just got judged. Or maybe I'm just insecure. Oh, I have problems. Okay, how was the baby? She's great. My mom said she stayed up all night just hanging out. We don't really have her on a hardcore sleep schedule because I know when she stays at my parents', it's all going to go out the window. But do I care? The child is loved. She's loved, and she is healthy, and she is fed. I'm not going to freak out over her sleep schedule getting mixed up. I'm very blessed and privileged to have the job that I have, so I'll just work around it. Which might make me sound like a total like, oh my gosh, my baby sleeps whenever. But if we had different jobs, I think I would feel differently about that. But because I'm like, man, I could sit here and be like, Mom, she has to go to bed at this time, which is fine if you are like that. Like, that's totally great. Like, do you, boo? But I'm like, man, my priority is that my child is loved and healthy and cared for and taken care of. And so I just had this fear that my microphone wasn't plugged in. It is. That's my priority. So as long as those things are taken care of, I'm okay. Yeah. Cool. Wait, what? Oh. It's about pizza. I got a text. Okay, shout out to Kat, by the way, that is texting me about pizza, because I've never had round table pizza before. I know that's random to you guys, or actually go watch my YouTube video that I just did with my husband, the Q&A on our channel. You'll see what I meant by that. I don't know anything about round table pizza. I've never had it. Oh, I didn't burp. I'm a lady. What's my middle name? Grace. I just pushed the back button and lost all the questions. No. So I have two middle names now, Grace and Harper, which is why my daughter has two middle names, Brave and Harper. Harper was my maiden name, which just means my name before I got married. Let's see. You guys are so nice about my hair. Like, that's literally a lot of these. I really wanted lavender. That was a huge thing for me, so I was really excited about that. Let's see, chicken or fish? Always chicken. Except I love a good fish taco. So it depends. If it's like pull the chicken, then always fish. But I could talk about food all day, so I'm gonna keep going. How did I come up with the name for Bella? There's actually a totally separate video called Why We Named Her Isabella, or How We Named Her Isabella, whichever one it's called. It's a long story, so I would definitely recommend watching that video. What mascara do I use? I do not wear mascara. A few times in my life I've worn Revlon because they mailed me some stuff and I really enjoyed it, but I don't wear I don't have it on right now. I just have on like a really thin $2 eyeliner that I got from like CVS or Walgreens or something. There's that. Will I perform at any churches in Anaheim? I would love to. If you guys, you guys know, like, wow. Press 1 for English. Just go to jamiegrace.com/book, like BOOK. It has to be like a church leader. It can't be like a 10-year-old and be like, hey, Jamie Grace, will you come to my house? Like that would probably be very like not safe, like not a smart idea. But if it's like your church leader, your pastor, somebody like that, a grown up that actually like makes those kinds of plans, and they go to my website, jamiegrace.com/book, it goes to my manager, and my manager handles all that. She and her team. I'm not involved in that process at all, because sometimes people will be like, "You didn't come to my church." I'm like, I didn't. I don't know. I trust other people to handle that for me. But with that being said, I would love to come. So just do a little thing, and then my manager will be like, "See you tomorrow." Probably not tomorrow. I have something to do tomorrow. How old was I when I first wrote my first song? Like 7 or 8. I was pretty little. How did Aaron and I meet? Well, it's another long story. Short version is in an autograph line at one of my shows. The long version is on our YouTube channel and my YouTube channel, so we have a ton of videos about that. High School Musical 1, 2, or 3. 1, then 3, then 2. Somebody said, how do you manage your hair all the time? I got waves and I got tired of putting product in it. I mean, I've had my hair a lot of different kinds of ways. My hair is natural because I don't like to put like dye or, perms or anything like that in my hair. So very clearly I add extensions to my hair when it's purple. I just have to realize that if it's something that I want, it's something that I'm going to have to work hard for. And so when I had my hair all naturally out, like curly, when my daughter was first born, it took a lot of work, and I did it as long as I felt like it. And then I was like, nope, I'm going to change to something else that doesn't take as much time and, as much energy. But for me personally, but at the same time, I do spend a lot of time sitting down getting my hair done. And so I just choose to make the most of that time. I choose to get my hair done by people that I love and people that I like making friends with, so that we have something to talk about. But also a lot of times I'll have my headphones in and I'll be listening to worship music and having my quiet time. Or sometimes I'll be working on my schedule and stuff like that. Oh, this is Aaron calling me right now. So I just try to make the most of that time because it takes a lot of time to get my hair done. Hey babe, I'm recording. What's up? You're fine. Are you headed home? Okay, that sounds good. I'll see you soon. We love you. Bye. Guys, I have a crush on him. Okay, he's headed home from his haircut. How long? This has been 12 minutes. I'm so sorry. This is so boring. Do I struggle with matching your purple hair to clothes? Not so far. I've had it purple a couple times before, and for a while. When I had pink, like prominent hot pink hair, that was the hardest because pink and red give me a lot of anxiety when they're together. Valentine's Day, I have to close my eyes for a long time. So that was the only one that was really difficult for me. You guys are really nice. This is a lot about hair. Thank you guys so much. You were really, really sweet. What will be the theme of Bella's first birthday party? I'm working on that right now, but as long as there's a lot of food, then I'm fine. Then she'll be fine. It's about her, not me. I just need there to be a lot of food there. Okay, so wait, what? That was such a weird question. Okay, skipping that. Okay, so now I'm trying to go through your questions. Some of you guys, your guys' questions are super interesting and probably things that I'm not gonna answer. So I'm just gonna skip those. Someone says, will you share with us your experience of balancing being a wife, a mom, and a career woman as a millennial? Yeah, I guess I'm hardcore about schedules, and I'm also hardcore about understanding that schedules won't always happen. Which I think it sounds very contrary to what I was just saying about our daughter's sleep schedule, but I guess more what I should say is I'm very hardcore about routines. It changes every few months between being hour by hour or if it's morning, afternoon, evening, but I have a routine, a schedule that I go by. The reason why, so basically what I did is I looked at my life and I said, when was the time in my life that I felt the most productive, that I felt like I was getting the most stuff done? And I was really proud of myself in college. College was 8 a.m. class, 9 a.m. class, 10 a.m. class, lunch. It was just very much like a structure. And so I wanted to kind of recreate that in my own life. And so right now I have a schedule, and this is all hypothetical because I literally just redid it for the new year. And I don't know it off the top of my head just yet, and it's downstairs. So basically it's I have 9 a.m. wake up with the babe, 10 a.m. she has playtime, 11 is around her, what's that, like nap time, and then noon, Aaron and I sit down, we have lunch together, probably kind of like a lunch meeting that we'll have because we work together. And then 1 p.m. is when I go record music. And then 2 p.m. on Fridays, I do my sister's podcast. And then, so I have all this kind of like intense schedule that I have out. But basically that serves as my foundation when needed. So when Bella wakes me up in the morning, she kind of wakes us up / I kind of wake her up. It depends on the day. But when I get up with her in the mornings are my mom's shift and evenings are Aaron's dad's shift so that we can both work. When I get her up in the morning, I know what to do. Like I know she needs to be fed and changed and get dressed and story time and playtime and, all the stuff that Bella needs to do. But there's some days where I wake up and I'm just kind of like tired and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I have my schedule to fall back on, if that makes sense. So to me, that has been what's been most effective, is just writing out everything that needs to get done every day. And then I do it naturally, but on the days where I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's so hard to be like self-employed and to be an entrepreneur. Like, on those days, I'm like, okay, little girl, it's Thursday. This needs to be done by 11. This needs to be done by 4. So that kind of helps me with having somewhat of a structure in my life. Favorite era of music? That's a good question. Becca Grace gets the shout out. So many underscores and little dots in her username on the Insta. My favorite era, I'd say early 2000s. I'd say Zoe Girl, +1. Like that music was like, it was my jam. It was so good. But at the same time, because oh my gosh, yes, early like country music around that time. Like 90s to my childhood and teen years, because like old school like Kirk Franklin and like Yolanda Adams, and then old school country music like Jamie O'Neill. I love some like Strange by Reba, Lee and Rhymes. Yeah, that's that era. Like just growing up in like teen years, that was like one of my favorite things ever. Where do I get style inspiration / where do I get clothes? My mom and my sister are a very significant part of like the way that I dress. I definitely get a lot of like weird inspiration on my own, and I'll just like be like, a lot of times I'll just be on Amazon and I'm like, I want to buy those pants for $8. And then I'll buy them and I'm like, that was a bad decision. And then other days I'll buy like $8 pants from Amazon and I'm like, am I a queen? So yeah, it just depends. Like for example, okay, I'm going to show you guys these pants that I'm wearing right now. I've had these pants, I'm trying to prevent any awkward angles because I do not want to edit this video. I've had these pants for like 7 years. I don't know where I got them from, but I went through this like pretty intense like life moment where I decided that all of my pants were going to come from really fun like boutiques and stuff from Asia. And it was one of my favorite seasons in life. And a lot of the places where I shopped, I don't even remember what they were called, but I've had a lot of those same clothes. Like this shirt I bought off the clearance rack of a Forever 21 that was going out of business for like $4 or $5. It's a men's shirt, by the way. I just bought it because I thought it looked cool and comfy, and I was like, worst case scenario, I thought it could have been a litit feels a little too big, like down here and here and stuff. It's really stretchy. I was like, worst case scenario, my husband can wear it because he's a man. But he was like, you look great in it, babe. I don't want it though. And so I was like, shut down. But it's really comfy. So I've actually worn this outfit before, I think. Probably 1,000 times. Guys, I just get a lot of random inspiration from a lot of random places. Sometimes I'll see somebody on Instagram and I'll just be like, ooh, their clothes are cool. And I'll screenshot it and I'll send it to my family, or my mom and my sister. And I'm like, do you think I could pull this off? And they'll be like, no. And sometimes they'll be like, yes. And then they'll like buy me those shoes. Or my sister will be like, I have that jacket. Or my mom's like, I have those boots. So it's kind of collaborative, and then also just me being weird. I like to apologize for that weird smile that I just gave you guys. I feel like it was so creepy. Okay, so I'm trying to load the Book of Faces. I forgot we have Wi-Fi. Do you ever do that? Like you just forget that Wi-Fi exists in the place where you are, and so you don't use it? Guys, I'm so sorry. I think I need to... Whoa. Oh, excuse me. I'm a lady. Okay, Keelan. I feel bad about what her question is. She says, how long were you homeschooled? And then I butcher her name. It's like homeschoolers are supposed to be smart. And I'm like, Katie says, how long were you homeschooled? Okay, she says, how long were you homeschooled? Some of your songs mention things about public school, so I was wondering about that. I'm not sure what songs could mention public school. I think it's just because I talk about like I know in games I talk about like, you can't sit with us and stuff like that. And then I think in Friends I talk about Just a Friend, I talk about a locker and stuff. Just a Friend, a lot of people don't know this. It's not about me, actually. I mean, I can kind of sort of relate to it, but it was more so written for girls that I knew that have gone through things like that. I like to think of songwriting as writing a letter to someone else. And so a lot of times when I write songs, they're not about personal experiences. Just a Friend kind of relates to stuff that I've been through, but not very perfectly. So when it mentions things about school, like when it says like, have you seen my new backpack or something, like that's just a line that Manuel and I wrote. It wasn't really about my backpack. So there's that. And then what was the other thing I was going to say? Like games though was very much written about me. So I was homeschooled from kindergarten to 12th grade. Homeschooled my whole life. I went to public school here and there. But if you hear me like talking about school, I'm probably not talking about public or private school. I never went to public or private school for more than like a few weeks. It was very clear that God was telling our family that homeschooling was the choice for us. I tried public school, I tried private school, and literally weeks into it, it would be so obvious that it was the wrong choice. And the only reason why we kept trying it is because I just kept begging my parents because I wanted to do it so bad. But at the end of the day, I'm very glad that I was homeschooled my whole life. And if you hear me referencing things like school, then it's probably from like a homeschool group. I had like a regular high school graduation. I mean, regular, it was 60 kids in my graduation, around 60 kids, I think. But we had like once a week we would go to like classes and things like that. So I had somewhat of a traditional school experience in that respect, but I was homeschooled from kindergarten to 12th grade. That was a long answer and I'm sorry. Let's see. Someone said, what's the chances of me coming to do a church for a surprise visit? I don't know. I don't get to decide on those things, but yeah. Sorry. Okay, and then she says, seriously, what is the one question you wish people would ask you but no one ever does? I don't know. This is going to sound, well, whatever. I'm not going to preface it. I wish that I would get asked more questions that people ask men who are musicians. I wish that people would ask more about my production choices and more about my songwriting choices. Because a lot of times people want to know, like, I don't know, like I'm an artist and I would like to get, I think it'd be cool to get to talk about that more. People do, don't get me wrong. I get lots of great questions about it, but just to answer your question, sometimes I remember being in Q&As with 5 or 6 men who are artists and, they would go down the line and they would be like, what was it like writing this song? Or what was it like doing this tour? Or what was it like making this production decision? Or what was it like, hiring your band and all that stuff? And they would get to me and it would just be like, do you miss your parents when you're on tour? I'm like, yes. Also, I wrote half the songs you were just asking about. But at the same time, it's like, don't get me wrong. I love talking when people ask about my husband and my daughter, and I love makeup and I love talking about food. I love talking about my family, my spiritual life. I love talking about all of the things. Hence why this is a 23-minute video and I have not hushed my mouth since, with the exception of that weird smile I gave you guys a few minutes ago. But so don't get me wrong. I love answering all the questions. I love talking. But I do wish that I could get some, different, additional questions to talk more about the creative process and stuff like that too. I also realize that there's not a lot of there are way more male songwriters in the Christian music industry, or just male songwriters in general, I think, that get the spotlight more than female songwriters. And then especially producers, there's not a lot of female producers. I can literally think of just a few on one hand that get recognized, rather. I'm not going to say there's not a lot. I believe that there are a lot of female producers out there. There's just not a lot that get recognized. And so, I would like to be a part of changing that because I think it's very crucial. Yeah. Okay. Someone says, should we expect something new, like a new song soon? So one came out last week. It's called Dream Big. And so I'm putting out new music every month for the rest of the year. So make sure you check it out. Okay, cool. And so now I'm going to go back to my IG stories really quick because we did IG comments, Facebook comments. I wasn't able to get to all of them. And then also I just put this up very like literally like 5 minutes ago. So I did not have the chance to, I didn't give you guys like a whole lot of time to send me questions. Let's see. Oh, these are deep. Some of these might have to go podcast. I just want to give her a shout out because she sounds precious. It's Malzo4 said, this isn't really a question, but I've been a huge fan since middle school. White Boots is my favorite song. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Karina's Adventures says, what was the first song you wrote or remember writing? Man, you know, I wrote this really, I won't say where I was, but my family and I went on my first song I was like 7 and it was terrible, but the first song that I like wrote with music, like that had a little bit more of music structure, I was like 13 or 14. My family and I went on a vacation. It was terrible. My family was great, and we had some great experiences as a family, but just, we went to a community that didn't have a lot of Black people, and we didn't know that going into it. And so we had some really negative experiences that really brought some difficult conversations that my parents had to share some things with us, and it was tough. And so I remember just coming home and just writing a song about just wanting to belong or just wanting to be loved and not wanting to have to change who I was to be loved. That's really kind of sad, but you know, it's reality. Let's see. On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you that the Patriots didn't make the Super Bowl? So here's my lifelong dilemma. I do not like the Patriots at all. I love my husband so much. My husband loves the newly England Patriots. I just chose to not say it right. Benjamin Watson's like a big bro. I love that guy. So it's tough because I struggle with the whole Patriot situation. I didn't want them to, it's not that I'm like wishing bad on anybody, but in the context of sports, I'm like, no, I don't love that team. They win all the time. They'll be fine. But watching my husband watch them lose, it's like, as a wife, I was heartbroken to watch his sweet face just go from like confidence to the complete lack thereof. But as his best friend, it was hilarious. Somebody said, do you want to have more babies? What was your favorite part of your wedding? That's such a bad answer. Let me think. The whole thing was great. No, my favorite part of my wedding. Besides kissing my husband's face and leaving, I would say Dr. Dan is the dude that married us. He's one of my father's mentors, and he's been in my life since I was about 2 or 3 years old. My favorite moment was when I got really nervous during the vows, and I just didn't know what to say, and I was giggling so much I couldn't get the words out. People always ask if I cried at the wedding. No, I giggled the entire ceremony. And I said to Dr. Dan, I said, I'm so sorry. I'm so nervous. I've never done this before. And everybody, kind of did one of those like sweet chuckles, like, oh, the bride, she's a virgin. And then Dr. Dan said, it's all right, sweetie, just don't ever do it again. And people just busted out laughing. That was like my favorite moment. I was like, oh my gosh, Dr. Dan's like 80. And that is like the best comeback. It was so quick and it was so funny. Oh man, I love that guy. I need to call him. I need to just call him and tell him to love him. Just check up on him and the family. I'm going to do that today. I'm going to call Dr. Dan. Thank you, ahall6472, for reminding me to just call Dr. Dan. I love him. Let's see. What's your favorite Disney movie? Annie. It's not a traditional favorite Disney movie, but it's a Disney movie that I love. What's my best advice for college students trying to figure out what to do with life? Take a nap. I'm not even kidding. Take a nap. So many parents are going to get mad at me for this. And I want to preface this by saying that I am a proud graduate. I have my bachelor's degree in child and youth development with a focus on children's ministry, and I'm proud of that degree. I worked really hard for it. But I didn't get an A in every class. I didn't get a 100 on every test. And you will survive if you don't get an A in every class and a 100 on every test. I'm not telling you to fail. I'm not telling you to slack. I'm not telling you to go party every night. or at all, honestly. I didn't party at all. I'm not telling you to go out and be irresponsible, to lack wisdom, to be immature and ungrateful, but I'm telling you to take a nap. Like, not every day, maybe. I don't know your life. I can't give perfect advice to everyone that's in college right now, because that's a very broad spectrum of humans and dreams and goals and desires, but take a nap. You'll know when it's time. If you're in that moment of like, man, I could get a 97 on this paper or an 88, and one of them will cause me to feel better about myself. One of them will cause me to not have anxiety. One of them will cause me, you guys, my camera got mad at me for talking about college and it turned off. But if yeah, man, just take a nap, breathe a little bit. You'll be okay. And cause I talk about this kind of stuff on my podcast a lot. And a lot of college students DM me about just like the pressure they feel to be perfect, and the pressure they feel to not let their parents down, and the pressure they feel to not let anybody down. And I can't, again, like I said, I can't speak to everyone in those situations, in those scenarios. I don't know anything about your parents, anything about what their plans or goals or dreams are for you. But I know that God's plans for you have nothing to do with overworking and overwhelming yourself to please people. And again, don't be ungrateful, you know? Like, please don't go and just drop out of all your classes and slack on everything and not really give it your best and be like, well, Jamie Grace said that I don't have to care about people. That's not what I'm saying. I just, as someone that worked so hard to graduate in 4 years and did it and transferred schools multiple times and possibly overworked herself by being an RA, touring full-time on SGA, doing the media stuff for the coffee shop, playing at every open mic, doing everything I could just for people to like me, just for people to care about me, and then to graduate and to love my school. My school was amazing, Point University in the Southeast. I loved my school. They're in Georgia/Alabama. It's like on the line. Love my school. Please hear what I'm saying here. But with that being said, to do all those things that I did just for people at school to love me, just for people at school to like me, just for people at school to be my friends, just to impress people, to make friends, all this stuff, and then to have graduated, to not be invited to like anybody's wedding, to only have been a bridesmaid in like, I think 1 or 2 weddings of people that I went to school with, to like, just, like, do you see what I'm going here? Like, it didn't work. I tried to do everything. I tried to be in every club. I tried to be a part of every event. I tried to be everything for everybody because I didn't want to let anybody down. And I ended up let down in the end. So take a nap. I don't know what that means for you, but rest. Like God rested. So do it, bruh. Just rest. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to be everything for everybody. It's not your job to please people. It's not your job to satisfy every human on this earth or any human on this earth. It's your job to love God and love people. And I could go, gosh, I could go on a rant about that for ages. Maybe someday we'll do a podcast episode on it. I don't even know. But it breaks my heart, the amount of DMs that I get from college students just feeling so beat down by trying to make everyone proud of them and never feeling a sense of purpose because they forgot to think about what God had for them. You know what I mean? College can be an incredible place to learn and to grow and to leave with a new perspective on life like you've never had before. And I can definitely say that that's what my educational side of my, that's what my education did for me. And I did leave with some great friendships as well. I don't want that to be mistaken. But it can also tear you down if you let it. So don't. Just go take a nap. Okay, just a few more questions and then we're gonna dip because this has been like a 17-hour video. Oh, well, excuse me. So does Bella party like a princess? Maybe. I'm not sure. She wore one of the Party Like a Princess shirts the other day. It was way too big for her, but it was really cute just watching her walk around in one of my Jamie Gray shirts that she very clearly could not fit. The little girl just, she makes my days. I gotta go pick her up in like 45 minutes, which is exciting because I miss her. I haven't seen her since last night. Okay, let's see. How did I date in a godly way with Aaron? Oh, like I set that question and then I was like, ooh, that's a big question. Let me see how I can answer it in like less than half an hour. I mean, the main thing was just like stating our intentions. That's how I do. Yeah, okay, there we go. The good old fashioned Jamie Grace word, intentions. That's how I do everything. Try to do everything at least in a godly way. I believe, like I was just talking about purpose and things like that. Like, what is your intention? So we were just very intentional from the start. Not saying that everybody's dating relationships or even friendships has to be on the same timeline. It doesn't have to be. That's unhealthy to try to match your timeline to someone else's. But I will say that on our first phone call, I was like, yo, actually, let me rephrase that. I wanted to be like, yo, what are we doing? Like, not so much like, what are we doing here? Like, are we dating by the first phone call? Because that'd be kind of creepy. But once we've been talking for like 3 hours on the phone, it was like, are we supposed to be doing this again tomorrow night? You know, some sort of what's going on. And I wanted to do that, but I didn't really get a chance to because he beat me to it. And he was like, by the end of that, like 3, 4, 5 hours. I don't even know how long the phone call is. I think every time we tell the story, it changes because we don't really know how long it was. We lost track of time. I just know the sun was up when we started talking, and I was boarding a red-eye plane by the end. And a red-eye flight, rather, excuse me. And by the end of that phone call, he said, "Look, I'm looking for a wife." So there's that. How many kids do you and Aaron want? Okay, let's see. I thought one time you said you learned kickboxing. How's that going? I can still kick and box. Cool. I don't really like finding, I mean, some women like, they're like, oh my gosh, I do everything. I'm a superhero, and like super great for them. Me finding time to go kickbox, you know, having a small baby and working full time and being devoted to my husband and touring full time is like, well, I'm not touring as much right now because all those other things, it's kind of crazy right now. So I do when I can. Just went a couple weeks ago. I love it. It's fun. I got certified in kickboxing because I loved it so much and I just wanted to learn as much as I could about kickboxing. So I'm a certified trainer. I don't really talk about it much because I'm just like, I know how to punch things. That was the goal. When do y'all plan on having another baby? What is your favorite part of the songwriting process? So, fun fact, another thing that's coming in 2020 is I'm actually doing a songwriting course. I'm filming that in a few weeks, and that'll be up hopefully by mid-February. So I'm really excited about that because it'll be just like a lot of cool tips for songwriters. Would I rather have a baby kangaroo or 10 baby puppies? That's a hard question. I've had 10 baby puppies before and it was awesome. It was stressful and chaotic, but it was awesome. My dog had puppies. So I think a baby kangaroo just because I've never had that before. And I like Winnie the Pooh. What is your favorite kind of coffee? Maybe you don't like coffee. If not, what do you like to drink? I do have this energy drink over here. I'm not about to be like, hey, look at this brand because I'm not. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty healthy and stuff like that, but I'm still not about to promote it because this is not a sponsor video. So, and also I'm not sure how like much I'm going to be drinking them. Sometimes I need something to wake me up. Not need, I want, I choose. Okay, let's see. What was Isabella's first word? She started saying, hi, like 2 weeks after she came home, which I don't think was really her saying hi, but we think either her first word was mama or Google. My parents pretty much have a smart house, like the Disney movie without the lady. And so my parents are always, hey, Google, do this. Hey, Google, do that. And so Bella said Google at their house, and then she said mama, and then now she says mama and dada. A lot of people say that around this age, which is like 7.5 months, that she doesn't really know who mama and dada are. But she's actually pretty clear when she's calling mama or dada, especially Aaron. When she says dada, it's very clear that she's talking to him. She can say Jacob, which is her cousin's name. My parents said that she said Jamie before. She can say G, which is, she calls my dad G-Pop. My dad's name is G-Pop. And then she can say Oldie, which my mom is Goldie. I feel really bad about that one. I'm like, you gotta say the Goldie. You can't just run around calling people Oldie. But yeah, when do you get part 3 of you and Aaron's story? Or when do we get, like, you guys get part 3 of me and Aaron's story? Soon. It's just, we just gotta film it. You know, it's crazy. Have you considered vlogging as a family weekly? We definitely are going to vlog more as a family. I mean, that's always something that, like, we're just always trying to be intentional about. You know, we never want to, it's crazy. We have so many vlogs that we filmed and that we just don't upload because we never want to post anything, like, and this could make us sound really strict and like we're overthinking, and that's okay if that's your opinion, but this is how we choose to operate as a family. We never want to post things for the sake of like, ooh, we think this is going to get a lot of views, or, you know, oh, we could get this brand deal if we do that. Like, yes, what we do as creatives, there's a business element to it, and so we're wise about that, but we never want to post anything that our daughter could look back on one day that she's in and she could not have wanted us to post that. We never want to embarrass her. We never want to kind of use our family's day-to-day life as something that gets views, to be honest. Everybody's different in their choices, but for us, we always try to do something in our videos. So like, we're always trying to tell a story or use it to encourage or use it to inspire, as opposed to, ooh, we know if we just make a video of us going to Target, we could get a lot of views, which would get money. Like, we try to be smart about just not doing it just because. We really want to be intentional about things so that we're putting our family first, and that our family is not all the time out in the public. You know, we've had conversations about reality shows before. We've been offered them before, and we're not against them. We don't think that those are wrong things. We just think that your intention has to be pure. And we think that everyone that's a part of it, their intentions have to be pure as well. So that's more so the reason why sometimes we kind of seem a little quiet with social media, because for us, it's like, you know, I mean, we're married, we're best friends, we're not perfect. And so sometimes we're like, man, we really need to spend this week focusing husband and wife time. And even if we had a video that we were planning on making, if we're not putting our marriage first, that video is not happening. We're not going to fight through it just to make a video. That makes sense? Or not fight through it, but like, we're not going to push through the struggles and put our marriage on the back burner to make a video, or put our parenting on the back burner to make a video. Like, we have to be really intentional about that. I don't know if they answered your question, but so we do try to make more, and we do, like I said, we do have a ton of videos that are just sitting, because we'll like record it sometimes and then we'll watch it back and we're just like, is this pure? Is this us? And if it's not, then we delete it. Okay, I keep saying like, I'm almost done, and then I literally like just keep answering more of your questions, because I really do like all your questions, and you guys are really a lot of fun. And so I do think that I am at the end. I'm just checking this one more time. Okay, last for real this time. I'm at the back on my IG stories, and this is going to be the end. So someone said, someone said, how was your waiting period before you got married? I thought you said, how was your period? I was like, personal, but okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, waiting before I got married. I don't know if you mean like when I was single or when I was engaged. So this is, yeah, if you have kids watching, then turn this off. I gave you like 4 seconds. If you didn't do it, that's on you. Waiting, if you're talking about in the context of sex, like being engaged, it was really difficult. And there were a lot of times where I was like, get out of my apartment because this is my testimony. Not that it would have been any less of a testimony of things have been different, because grace and mercy is there for us all. But with that being said, there were many times where I was like, bruh, leave. If you're talking about outside of sex, just like as far as like waiting on like, you know, my husband and waiting on the person that I would marry, I mean, it was great at times, because singlehood was really cool at times. Like, most of my singlehood was full of so much joy, because I was doing so many things that fulfilled my life's purpose of loving people and creating music and things like that. But it was also really difficult at times. Like I wanted my best friend. I wanted a husband. I wanted that experience. I just wanted it so bad. And now that I have it, I get it. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense that I wanted this for so long because it's so great and I'm so grateful for it. And I don't want my life to be any other way. So if you want more videos on that, I have 2 different videos that I'll link down below. I've got one called When You Love Being Single and When You're Tired of Being Single. And honestly, it just kind of navigates through where my headspace was at 2 different seasons of life. And so I'll post that. Or I'll probably just post the playlist about dating and stuff. Thoughts on dating apps. I was on dating apps before I, was in a relationship with Aaron. Obviously, he knows that. He knew that. Yeah, I mean, I think you just have to be super safe. I have a podcast episode all about dating apps on the Jamie Grace podcast on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts. I like Overcast. Yeah, I think you just have to be smart and stuff. I think that they should definitely be for adults is the main thing, and then accountability, I would say, is the second thing. Like if you're 16 and you're like, oh, let me get on a dating app, like I'm going to tell you right now, that is a terrible decision. But I mean, you're grown and you have accountability. Like, you've got someone in your life that knows where you're going to be at all times and who you're talking to and what those messages look like. I mean, just be smart. Okay, last question. No, 2 more, I promise. Which one is better, Chick-fil-A or Popeyes? I have such an elaborate response on that. I don't even know why I said that question, because now I'm like, oops. I definitely would say that Chick-fil-A is my go-to, but Popeyes is magical because I like their seasoning better. I just like the way that it's made. And the pickles are way better, and I like the sauce. But Chick-fil-A is great because they have cheese. And then last question. My phone is locked. Do I ever get tired of my own music? Yeah, I do. But I don't get tired of it as a whole. Sometimes it's just harder to, like, if I'm at a show and I have a song that just came out, or I have a song that's not out and I want to play like a new unreleased song. And if I were to say to the crowd, I want to play a new song, you want to hear it? I think that the crowd will be like, yeah, which is really nice. But the reality is that most of the crowd in the back of their heads are going to be like, or you could just play Beautiful Day. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, how cool is that? To have a song that people want to hear. That's a privilege, man. That's a joy. That is the joy of my heart. And not the joy, but one of the joys of my heart. And if I ever get to a place of like, I don't want to play the songs that everybody knows, then I have to remind myself, imagine you were at a Zoe Girl concert. And they were like, oh, we don't play You Get Me and I Believe anymore. And we don't play Forever 17. We only play our new song called Turtles and Cheese. I'd be like, oh, Chrissy Conway, Katina, no you don't. So, yeah, that's where I just go in my head. I'm like, man, imagine like this, you were like, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. It's not about you. My job is a job of service. So even if sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like doing this, I do enjoy that my job is a job of service, and I consider it a privilege to serve others. So, yeah. And then if I'm really, really tired of it, like say I'm producing one of my songs and I'm in my computer and I'm just like, oh, I'm tired of typing, I'm tired of making songs, then, I just almost fell asleep. Energy drink's not working, is it? If I do ever get incredibly tired of it, like when I'm like in my studio working, then I'll just go sit on the porch for 5, 10, 15 minutes, go play with the baby, go hang out with Aaron, kiss his face. Just whatever, read my Bible, just do something and do something else that I love to do and go back to work. Okay, cool. If you sat through this entire Q&A, you are crazy. Go to your doctor and say, doctor, I'm a little crazy because I watched her talk about stuff that don't make sense. We've got dollars and no cents. Cool. Thanks for watching. Sorry about that. I'm not sorry about that freestyle. I'm actually proud of it. I genuinely just got so tired. But thanks for joining this unfiltered and unedited Q&A. If you guys want to see another video like this in the future, don't know why, but thanks. Comment down below if there's other stuff that you guys want to see. There's new music every month coming from me on the socials, on the internet, on the web, on the everywhere. And the next thing that you can get, it comes out on Valentine's Day, and it's called Show Love. It's an EP by a duo called Harper Still. I'm half of Harper Still. My sister is the other half. We're both married, so we have different last names because we both chose to take our husband's last names. And with that, we wanted to find a way that, about 10 years ago, we wanted to find a way that would make sure that we could always have that connection as sisters. And so we're really close to our mom and dad, and our family name is Harper, which is my middle name and my sister's middle name now as well. And so we came up with the name Harper Still because we're like, look, no matter what happens, no matter who we marry, and if we choose their last name, no matter what, we'll be Harpers Still. So Harper Still, EP called Show Love, Songs for Our Children, drops on February 14th. Because love and Valentine's Day. Get it? Okay, click on the screen to subscribe. My husband just got home. Love you guys much. Talk to you soon. Miss you already. Bye. Oh, the camera's so far. Hey, babe.